Are you ready, Ishan? Are you ready?
Okay, what's wrong with the picture that the proposition is painting here? Okay, let's imagine a scenario. A parent has to talk about a parent that has a perfect relationship with a child, and suddenly out of the blue, when this child comes of age of 16, he has to tell the child that he or she is adopted. How would the child think? How would the relationship between the child and the parent, how would the relationship between the child and the parent be affected? That is an unknown factor. And here we say that because of this unknown factor and the possibility of making this relationship toxic, we say we let the parent handle the decision to whether they want to allow this nature of their children being adopted to the parent themselves, to the adopted parent themselves. Firstly, I as the first speaker will be talking about how this decision, this policy of the proposition force biological parents to assume relationship, and my second speaker will be talking about how this would potentially make the relationship of the child toxic. Now, but before that, let me go on to some of the rebuttals. Firstly, they have talked about their policy, and we question that how are you going to uphold the law whereby in a close family social unit, how are you going to make sure that the parent tells the child that at exactly the age of 16, they'll say the child must know of their adopted nature, and how would that essentially harm the relationship between the parent and the adopted child? And now let me get on to my point. How it forces the biological parents to assume a relationship with the adopted child. As you have known, like after all the 16 years, the biological parents have not made any single contact with their adopted child, their biological child. This clearly shows that how they feel with regards to this child is either reluctant or they do not have a close or tender loving relationship, not as what the proposition pictures. The opposition shows that what these biological parents want is most likely to discard away a past of them, a mistake that they do not want to acknowledge anymore in their current future life. Yes, sir.
Sir, you are just excluding the fact that there are other factors which can be taken into place. For example, financial factors.
Yes, and that just shows that the current biological parent is unable or unwilling to assume this relationship with their adopted child after not acknowledging their adopted child for these 16 years or more. So, what does this law forces the biological parents to do? It forces them firstly to assume responsibility for what they have done, when clearly they do not want to have anything to do with this child. Secondly, it forces the child to acknowledge a relationship, as my second speaker will further elaborate, a relationship of being thrown away, discarded by their biological parents. What would that say to the child? What would the child think of? What would the child think of themselves as a child of years of 16, when they are as a teenager phase, when their emotional stability is still not that as mature as what the proposition might think. So we say that this law, we should not support the right of these adopted children, and we should allow the adopted parents to decide on the current situation, on what is the best method, and for them to decide on whether this relationship should be disclosed. Thank you.